So for the last several years, I've been telling myself that I have fumbled a good man. Well, my good man. But as I reflect over my dating history here as of late, I don't know if that's the case anymore. When I first met this guy, I was convinced that he was my husband. When we finally started dating, I was still convinced that he was my husband. But I don't know. So by the end of this video, I want y'all to chime in and let me know whether y'all think that this was really a fumble or not. So let's get right into it. So I first met him on deployment. We both joined a choir and we were doing the whole thing where you go around in a circle and introduce yourself. Now, initially, I wasn't looking at him like that because he's not my typical physical type. And when I say that, I mean, he's like the same height as me, or either I'm a little bit taller than him. And I'm short. I'm like 5'5", 5'5.5". So just to give you a picture. Not that I got anything against short guys or anything like that, but I'm just saying usually the men that I have dated have been taller than me. But it was just something about what happened in me when he spoke. I was just like, ooh, I don't know. I think this might be my husband. But I didn't act on it in that moment because I was in a relationship. Yes, I was in a relationship, but it was one that was coming to an end. And we both knew it was ending. However, attachment. And I didn't act on it because I'm not the type to try to slide into something before I'm completely out of something else. So fast forward a year and a half later, when I'm completely out of that relationship, we're completely back home, settled in, off deployment, and I randomly just think about him. We was always Facebook friends, but his stuff never really showed up in my time like that, or I never really paid attention. I don't know. But anyway, I just randomly thought about him one day, and I went to go check his page. I was like, let me go see what he been up to, what he doing. And when I got over there, I seen that he was in a relationship, and I was like, dang. I was like, they look cute together. But if it ever ends, I'm going to swoop in to get him. So I don't know what happened not too long after that, but it ended. And he didn't make an announcement or anything, but I think I had made a post and he was under my comments flirting a little bit. So I was like, I don't know what this is. So I went to go check this page. And I noticed that it had been a while since he had posted the girl. And I think some of the pictures were gone of them. I was like, that's interesting. But I didn't flirt back with him too heavy because I still wasn't sure. But a few weeks go on, I'm posting, he's still under my comments flirting a little bit. And then, so I started flirting back, testing the water a little bit. And then we started DMing each other. And I was like, oh, okay. So we kind of swooped in for each other. And so fast forward a few months after that, we make arrangements to meet in person. He came to Georgia. And it just went from there. And we just kept building and building on and getting closer and closer and closer. And like, keep in mind, by this point, this is almost 2 years after my relationship ended. And in between those 2 years, I did date other people, but I never felt the type of connection with them that I felt with him. So I was excited about that because I felt, to an extent, because I still had my own junk in the back of my mind going on, I felt to a certain extent like he could really hold space for me in the way that I would need him to. I felt comfortable with him. I enjoyed talking to him. I mean, we would sit on the phone for hours. And I'm not a FaceTime person, but we used to do Android's version of FaceTime. And we used to just sit and enjoy each other's company like that. Like I would be out cook sometime and he would be on FaceTime watching me cook in the background, or we would get together and watch movies, like, cause he stayed 10 hours away from me. And this is also the man that I said drove 10 hours to surprise me for my birthday with a toothache. Can you understand why I felt like this man was my husband? But anyway, so yeah, 10 hours one way, just to add that little part in there. But anyway, so we go on, and like we just getting to know each other more and more, and I'm opening up more and more. Because if I can be honest, I was still kind of wounded from my last relationship based off the way that it ended. And even though I felt like he could hold space for me, I wasn't ready to hand myself over completely. And outside of that, I wasn't fully ready to be seen by him because I felt like he was too good for me. I felt like, and when I say I felt like he was too good for me, I felt like this is the man that's really going to cause me to really check myself, really grow in ways that are uncomfortable for me. That's what I mean by that when I say I felt like he was too good for me. So going on, and we was having conversations about what the future would look like. He was serious about being somebody's husband, having a family. What's the word I'm looking for? Like a blended family, because he has kids, I have kids, so it was gonna be a blended family. And so he was serious about that. But I got all this stuff in the back of my head. So, and here's an interesting part of the story. He wanted to wait until marriage to have sex, which created another issue in the back of my mind for me. Not that I had a problem with waiting to have sex. I was cool with it. I was cool with waiting to have sex. Keep in mind also, I was already abstinent. At this point, I hadn't messed with nobody, and I was going on maybe a year and a half abstinence during that time when me and him was getting to know each other. So waiting was definitely not an issue for me. But because he wanted to wait until marriage to have sex, I was concerned that I would marry him and then on the wedding night, there would be nothing there for me to work with. Yes. That was my concern. Because it wasn't even about the sex potentially being bad, because I feel like if you got the right tools, I don't mean to be X-rated over here, but I'm just saying, if you got the right tools, then if the sex is bad, that's something that can be fixed. But if you don't have the right tools, then bad sex can't be fixed. And that was my concern. So I was just like, well, maybe I didn't know how to bring it up to him without it coming off as something offensive, because, some men can be very particular about their manhood, and I just did not know how to bring it up. So time goes on, just continue to go on. And also something that I'm kind of a little embarrassed to admit was that we went on like this for almost a year without it even being truly official. But it felt official, but not truly. And he was the guy that respected my issue with sliding into a relationship without having the relationship conversation. So yeah, don't judge me. But anyway, but he was cool with it. And that's another thing that I appreciated about him. He was patient. So, but it finally came to a head. And honestly, a year is too long of a time for somebody to still be sitting on the fence about anything. I can take accountability for that. Yes, I can. And which is why I respect when he was like, I don't know what the issue is, but I can't do this no more. Like, either we official or we not. And I wanted to be official so bad. Because by this point, I was like, okay, I love talking to him. I enjoy talking to him. And I actually loved him. And I didn't feel, I was finally coming out of that phase where I was feeling like he was too good for me, because through conversation, he had shown me that he was willing to be there with whatever growing that I needed to do. So I was getting okay with that, but it was the sex thing, because even though I can go long periods with not having sex, when I start having it, I likes to have it. And it's a very important thing for me. So I didn't know if I could handle that type of disappointment. But I just still did not know how to say it without thinking that I would offend him or it would be too touchy of a subject for him. But anyway, I just, when he said that, I was like, oh, I don't have no choice but to respect it because I don't know how to say this. And I can't expect him to continue to wait for me to figure out how to say this. But anyway, so I was like, okay, but a few days went by and I'm missing him like crazy. And I don't know how we get on the phone and had a conversation, but I finally just said it. He was like, I don't get what the issue was. And so I was like, well, this and this was the issue, and then that was the issue, and then you wanted to wait to have marriage, wanted to wait to marriage to have sex, and he was like, what? And I was like, and I'm fine with that, but I just had an issue with not knowing what was all there. And he was like, what? That was the only issue you had? You could have just said that. Like, really? And I would have told you. And so I was shocked at the response. I was like, all I had to do was just say it and he would have told me. So that's what I was thinking in my head. I ain't said nothing at that time about it. So fast forward a few weeks, I'm going on a trip to Vegas, and while I'm out there, I'm talking to my cousin / best friend about it. And she was like, girl, call that man. Ask that man to give you another chance. Like, ain't no need you being here moping, thinking about him. Just call him. So, I reached out to him, and he was like, no. Like, he was moving on. I was like, okay, all right. But then I also went to thinking, if all I had to do was ask, you would have told me. I'm asking now, what's the issue? Why you still won't say? But anyway, I digress. So that was in July. And so fast forward to around January of the next year, I'm still missing him. So I'm on the phone with my mama, and she boosted me up. She was like, go get that man. Cause I feel like he was good for you. I know how you feel about him. So go get that man. And so she boosted me up, gave me enough courage to go, reach out to him. So I reached out to him. Mind you, the last conversation I had with him in July trying to get him back, he was like, nah. So I'm really risking being rejected again, even though I don't have a problem with being rejected. I could, even then I could handle it. Like, my ego ain't that big. Like, but anyway. So, I tried to slide. I tried to slide in smooth with it. I didn't want to be just like, I miss you. Please give me another chance. Especially since he had said no back in July. And then I know it's months later. And I know how serious he is about dating and finding his wife. So I didn't know if he was dating somebody or not like that. So I just slid in a little smooth, tested the waters. In February, it was New York Fashion Week and also my birthday. And in January, I was planning the trip. So I reached out to him. I was like, and I know he likes fashion too, just like me, whatever. There was another thing I liked about him, little side note. So I was like, my birthday coming up, New York Fashion Week. I know you like fashion too. I would really like for you to go with me and celebrate my birthday with me. And he was like, yeah, of course, I'll go with you. I was shocked by that response, but I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm in there a little bit. So, I was like, since I'm asking you to go with me, I'll cover everything unless you want to do something. And he was like, of course, he was like, he wanted to pay expenses, but I think I booked his flight. I don't know. I think he might have went half with me on the room. I don't know. I don't remember, but I know I booked this flight or whatever, because that's how I am. Like, I'm not going off a tangent on that. But anyway, continuing on. So fast forward, February come, we still didn't start back talking. This was in January when I invited him. We still didn't start talking back. We still did not start back talking heavy. Just weekly check-ins up until it was time to go on the trip or whatever. And I'm letting him know about any things that's changing with the itineraries or what the itinerary is going to be, whatever. So we go on a trip. We enjoy each other's company. It's almost starting to feel like the good old days. So I'm like, okay, this is looking good for me. This is looking good for me. I might be in there. And not to mention that even though I invited him on this trip, somehow he had called ahead and planned a birthday thing for me at Capitol Grill in the area near where we were staying. Like, oh my God, do you see why I thought this man was my husband? But anyway, we got the, he had already set it up for us or whatever. And I was like, oh, that was so sweet. But anyway, so we in the room, we stayed in the same room, separate beds or whatever. And I was still trying to see what I could see on the sexual front. Not trying to have sex with him, but just trying to see if I could see what I could see, if you get what I mean. And I had said something slick to him about, I don't know, but it was real sexual and flirtatious, and he leaned into it. I was like, not him leaning in. This might be a go. But anyway, I still was pumping my brakes a little bit because I was still trying to feel him out a little bit to see if I could go in and just outright ask him, hey, can we get this another try? Mind you, this is also the same time that my best friend snuck up to New York to celebrate with me too. Like, I didn't know she was coming. The heifer was real slick about it because I had asked her to go with me. And she was like, nah, I ain't gonna be able to make that. And she had a lot of stuff going on. So I was like, okay, I understand. And so I didn't expect her to show, but she showed up too. And she met us at the hotel, and then all of us went out and we did karaoke. And he chose a song. And then she was like, and keep in mind, this is my best friend, so she know what the mission is. She know what I'm trying to do. And when he started singing that song, she was like, I think he's sending you a hint. I think he let you know that, you know, if you trying to make something happen, this the chance. So after we got back from karaoke that night, I ain't say nothing to him then either, because some other drama was happening in the background where I was distracted from the mission that I was on. But anyway, the next day we went out, we had breakfast, and I was like, finally had got up the nerve. I said, this is going to be my time. I'm going to go there. So in the moment that I decide to ask him, can we try this again? His phone went off. I looked over to his phone and I seen that he was texting this lady, and I seen her name. And I was like, dang, her name looked familiar. But I didn't put two and two together at that time. But I was like, dang. So, and you know, I knew it was something there to it. I couldn't put my finger on it. I didn't have everything for it. But something in me was like, no. Pump your brakes. Something going on here. Something going on here. So I didn't try it. I was like, and then I don't remember exactly what the text said, but I knew this was somebody that he was dating. I don't know if they was exclusive, but I know that based off the language of the text that she had him on her mind and they had something going on. So I was like, and then at this time, I still had this fear of moving forward. Still. Not particularly because of him, but still because of that old relationship wound that I had. But anyway, so I was like, no, if you still unsure and you can see that there's an interest here, don't even come between that, because that would be selfish on your part. And even though I got the vibe, even though I could feel like, you know, he may have been willing to start over with me, because you go on the trip was about a week long. You go on a whole trip with a woman for a week. You set up this whole thing for her birthday with her. You know, something there. And then that song he sung, like something was there. And then he even sung to me for my birthday. I still got the video. I be going back to watch it from time to time when I be thinking about it. But anyway, so fast forward to a week or so after the trip. I was going through something, and I just wanted to talk to him about it. And so I was on the phone with him, and things was still feeling like the old times. And so we started talking about it, and then something like giving it a try again, something along those lines. And he told me, he was like, well, I have to let you know that a few months after, and he was talking about a few months after July when he told me no, he was moving forward, that he did meet somebody. And they was dating for a few months, and he realized that she wasn't the one for him. But before he realized that she wasn't the one for him, they had sex and he got her pregnant. And I was like, what? I said, whoa. You and I dated for about a year. You was adamant about the fact that you did not want to have sex until marriage. And I was cool with that. But what happened? A few months after you tell me, no, you don't want to get us another try, you go and get somebody else pregnant? You had sex with somebody you was not married to? And he was like, well, I was really disappointed with the way things happened between you and I. I was like, I guess. I was thinking in my head, I guess. I don't know if... But I called and asked you to give me another chance. You said no. Like, I don't know if that's the type of disappointment that just make you fall off in some Gucci if you know you said that you wanted to wait until marriage to do that. But I digress. So, I don't know. I was just like, no. I don't know if I want to rekindle anything. There's a newborn baby involved. And from what he was telling me, the girl was still wanting him. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe this ship has sailed. But I still continue to think about him and continue to wonder if I should have tried harder. But that part about him being adamant about not having sex with me, then 3 months later getting somebody else pregnant, is now making me rethink things. Like, did I really fumble? Or was it that he was just not my husband all along? But anyway, I still look at him as a good guy. He is in fact married now, not to the girl that he got pregnant, but he is in fact married now. And from what I last know or heard from him, it's all going well, and I'm happy for him. But I don't know, what y'all think? Should I have tried harder? Did I fumble, or was that a red flag? Telling me he didn't want to have sex with me, and then 3 months later getting somebody else pregnant. I don't know. What y'all think? Let me know in the comments. And have you ever fumbled somebody? Have you ever had a situation like this? Like, I don't know. Let me know. Let's have a conversation down in the comments, and I will be back for the next video. But before I leave, I have to let you know, my name is Latrice. Here's what I think out loud. Reflect honestly. Name patterns that keep us stuck. Do a little story time from time to time. And if you feel like anything here on my page resonates with you, please feel free. Please feel free to take what you need. If not, leave the rest. Also, if you feel like we're aligned, hit the subscribe button, the like button, all the things. And I'll see you all in the next video.